Guys, I just finally paid my 2020 taxes. Look what I just paid the IRS. What's up guys, it's Casey McKeown back again with another video this week. Today I'm gonna go over my 2020 taxes. Now, as a business owner, unfortunately, everyone within our country has to pay taxes, but usually, and what I'm so used to having is a W-2 job where the taxes are already taken out of the income that I make. Now, as a business owner, that is no longer the case. Now, I have owned my business for about 4 years. The first 12 months was really kind of part-time. The next 12 months was full-time, but I was just getting my gears running. And then the third year would have been 2020. 2020 is really where my income started to go up substantially and where also my tax bill went up substantially. Quick disclaimer guys, everything that I'm about to go into in this video was done by a professional CPA. I myself am not a CPA. I'm also not a financial advisor. I personally have hired a financial advisor to help me pay less in taxes. I, however, 4 years ago had absolutely no idea what I was doing when it came to opening up a business, running a successful business with employees, and that's really what I'm making this kind of content for, is to educate people that, hey, 4 years ago, I was a high school teacher and wrestling coach. 4 years from now, you easily could own your own business and be in the same position I am sitting today. You just have to take the shot. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick snapshot of my personal business. I got licensed first in the state of Texas, locally here in Dallas, in the summer of 2017. 12 months later is when I decided to go full-time, leave my teaching and coaching job, and that was the summer of 2018. The documents that I'm gonna go over today are the tax returns from the year of 2019 and the tax returns from the year 2020. The difference between my first full year as a licensed real estate agent, really with only an assistant or really a transaction coordinator. Fast forward to the year of 2020 where I started to add a business manager, a full-time TC, a videographer, and a lot of other expenses within my business. So one of the biggest things that I got set up first when I started my own business was creating an LLC. Now again, I'm not an accountant. I'm not here to advise you on how to set up your LLC. However, I personally was advised as an individual in the realm of real estate to set up an S-Corp election. Now, an S-Corp election essentially allows me as the business owner of KMAC Realty Group to basically be salaried within the company. So then my company will actually pay me a basic salary. Now, in the year of 2019, I didn't really understand this entirely. I set up what was considered a normal salary, and at the time it was $72,000. So my company salaried myself $72,000. However, the downfall there was I used much more than $72,000. So I was consistently pulling money from my company into just my individual bank account. I wasn't being taxed on any of that income. Now fast forward to the year of 2020, I increased my salary to a substantial increase of $228,000, and I'll go into why in just a second. Now, the significant increase in my salary was something that my financial advisor advised me to do. Now, the big reasoning behind here is as my company, they can actually offer me a retirement, or myself in this case, can offer myself a SEP IRA. Now, the SEP IRA is based on the income that you're now salarying yourself. So in the year of 2019, I was able to set up a SEP IRA, and my company was able to contribute a quarter of my salary for the taxable year of 2019. Now in the year of 2019, I had an annual salary of $72,000, so my company could only contribute about $18,000. That $18,000 is technically an expense. So what it means is that $18,000 that my company is contributing to me, they don't have to pay taxes on for that calendar year. Now that is a taxable event in the future if I ever decide to pull it out when I do retire, but in this current moment, I didn't have to pay taxes on that $18,000 that I contributed from my company to my individual SEP IRA. So one of the biggest tax savings in 2020 for me was being able to contribute from my company to my SEP IRA of $57,000 to my retirement account and not having to pay taxes on that. So I jumped from not having to pay taxes on $18,000 in 2019 to not paying taxes on $57,000 that I contributed in 2020. Now moving forward, this is going to be an annual event for myself, something that I'm able to contribute to my SEP IRA from my company. It's going to be money put aside and really into a retirement account for me. And I'm gonna be taxed eventually, but I know the income and income bracket that I'm in currently is not gonna be the income bracket that I will be in 30 years from now. So I'm saving and basically drawing out the taxes I'd otherwise pay now, probably for 30 years in the future. And in the meantime, I'm also making money on it because that money is in the stock market. Now, along with salarying myself $228,000 versus $72,000 in 2019, the biggest thing in 2019 was I just had a massive bill at the end of the year when it came to taxes. I wasn't withholding any money, and I don't honestly, to be quite frank with you, I don't think I was paying quarterly or really paying anything at all. So I had a complete tax bill due at the end of the year. Now in 2020, when I did increase my salary to $228,000, it's a substantial increase from the $72,000 the year before. I started to withhold income to put aside for taxes every single paycheck. So the two numbers you're looking at here, guys, $10,863, that's actually what I was withheld from just paying myself a $72,000 salary in the year of 2019. Now, if you move over to the year of 2020, $110,000. So at the end of the year of 2019, I had only truly paid almost $11,000 in taxes. That's it for the entire year. Now at the end of 2020, I had paid $110,000. Now the reasoning behind this is if I withheld money from my paycheck to put towards taxes, I knew that at the end of the year, I wasn't gonna have a whopping massive tax bill. I did wind up still having to pay additional money beyond what I was withholding, but that was what my financial advisor was used for, is to allocate money and withhold enough money. So at the end of the year, your taxes are paid. You don't have to stress about, the following year making enough income to pay your previous year's taxes. And I think that's one of the biggest struggles when it comes to owning your own business. And I have a lot of friends that do this, is they're making money in 2021 now to pay their 2020 tax bill, when in reality, the money that you generate as a business owner in that calendar year should be put away and put aside to pay taxes for that specific year. Now, to give you guys a little bit more context here, in the year of 2019 versus the year of 2020, my income essentially doubled. Now, the whole goal here is to give you guys complete transparency when it comes to my business. There's no reason or rhyme for me to hide anything. Now, in the real estate industry, a lot of people flaunt their egos and numbers, just really at the end of the day saying, they were highly profitable or made X amount of money or millions of dollars at the end of the day, when in reality their expenses are out the roof or they're just flat out lying. For me, I want to be fully transparent with you guys to show you the ins and outs of my business. Now, going back to that, my income did almost double from the year of 2019 to the year of 2020. Now, when it comes to owning your own business, as you make more income, you're gonna be taxed at a larger tax bracket. Now, the tax bracket is based off of your net income and not your gross income. So basically, what am I making after all of my expenses? Now, in the year of 2020, I did add a full-time videographer. I did add a full-time business manager, and I added other supporting staff. So I had a lot more business expenses in the year of 2020 to bring down my taxable income than I did in 2019. But also on the flip side, I made a substantial amount less in 2019 than in 2020. So when it comes to taxable income brackets, in the year 2019 and 2020, technically I was at the same income bracket. In the year of 2019, I had about $240,000 or $250,000 in taxable income. And in the year of 2020, I jumped to almost $500,000 in taxable income. Now the thing is, I'm still taxed at the 35% taxable income bracket, but in the year of 2019, I was only taxed at that 35% for maybe $30,000 or $40,000. However, in the year of 2020, I was taxed almost $250,000 at that 35% taxable income bracket. So the intent here was really to find a way around, and at the end of the day, I still paid a whopping $135,000 in taxes. But my intent was to find any which way possible that I could pay less in taxes. And if you've seen my recent video, I actually, for the calendar year of 2021, I purchased a vehicle that was $140,000 with the intent to completely write that off as a business expense too, so I don't have to pay taxes on it. So I'm just gonna show you guys real quick here the difference of 2019 and not really withholding any money, and then the difference in 2020 when I withheld a substantial amount. So here at the calendar year of 2019, I owed about $47,000 in taxes. I only withheld about what I was paying in taxes just through self-employment tax and the taxes that my W-2 job withheld. So at the end of the year, I still had to pay $36,000 to the IRS. Now, fast forward to 2020, I owed a substantial amount more in taxes. The reason why I owed a substantial amount more in taxes is because that $250,000 that I was taxed at 35% makes up the difference between 47 and 135, but I withheld $110,000, so I actually owed, at the end of the day, that I wrote a check for a couple months back for $24,000. So at the end of the day, imagine making about $250,000 and not putting any money aside, and then at the end of the year, you're having to pay a tax bill of $40,000. It really wasn't enjoyable, and to be honest with you, at the beginning of 2020, I was doing what I said agents do and just business owners do all the time. I was making money in 2020 to pay my tax bill for 2019. Now, I met with a financial advisor, I got coordinated with a great CPA. My intent was at the end of 2020 to basically have all of my taxes paid for by the end of 2020 by withholding. Now you may be asking, well, Casey, you still had to write a check for $24,000. And I'm gonna go into just why I still had to pay more in taxes. So the reason at the end of the day why I still owed a decent amount of money for taxes for the calendar year of 2020 was because I decided to actually sell some of my stock. I messed around with crypto a little bit. I also had a pretty substantial poker tournament that I won that I didn't really calculate all in when I spoke to my financial advisor as well as CPA. So at the end of the day, I had to pay taxes that weren't paid on those at the end of the year. Technically, I paid them a couple months back. But again, fast forward to 2021. My intent this year is January 1st, 2022. I will no longer owe any taxes for this year because I've withheld enough to cover my taxes for this year. So taxes are a pain, guys. Honestly, everyone's going to pay taxes. We all pay taxes. Now, there's a lot of ways that I've learned over the last 4 years to really set myself up for success by, investing in my SEP IRA, investing in a Roth IRA, salarying myself so I can do that, setting up a correct LLC, getting with a financial advisor and great CPA that at the end of the day can truly help you and save you a ton of money so you don't have to pay as much in taxes. But everyone at the end of the day still has to pay it. Now, I'm still learning day in and day out in terms of ways and avenues I can take to hopefully avoid paying taxes as much as I can, especially because now what I'm doing is I'm building my team locally here. My team locally are going to start having producing agents. Producing agents means my team is going to profit. However, on the flip side of that too, for instance, I'm actually paying over $10,000 a month in ad spend for my team and my agents locally here. More expenses, more income. And this is really where a business can start to take off. So a lot of my content moving forward is going to be showing you how I've been able to grow my business and how I've been able to grow it profitably. Because to be completely transparent with you guys, real estate is a lot of glamour. There's a lot of people out there making a lot of money, but they're also spending a ton of money. And if they aren't making money when they're spending a ton of money, they aren't going to be a business for long. Now, I'll go more in depth in terms of my profit and loss, maybe in another video, but I do want to show you guys in future videos just how I'm able to build my team locally here and how I've been able to build my team and business to be highly profitable. Because at the end of the day, if I wasn't profitable or if my company was losing money every single year, I absolutely wouldn't be paying any money in taxes, which, there are plenty of companies out there that show a net loss every single year so they don't pay taxes. But for me, and being able to acquire properties, which is why a lot of you are subscribed to my channel, to purchase rental properties, to purchase homes and rent them out, my business at the end of the day has to be profitable in order to be able to qualify for loans moving forward. Owning a business at the end of the day was something I never thought I would do. 4.5 years ago, I was a high school teacher, ended a relationship, and it just kind of sprung on me in terms of real estate. And that's the whole premise here for my channel, is to show you guys, if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, don't think that just because you don't have any knowledge or any expertise at all. I'm still learning day in and day out here, and I have so much to learn. To be honest with you, the whole hiring and firing process of owning your own company is miserable. It's not fun to hire the wrong person. It's never fun to fire someone that you wound up hiring. That whole process in itself is probably one of the aspects of entrepreneurship that I don't like. But there's so much more good than bad when it comes to this lifestyle. My hope and expectation is to motivate you guys to get out there, whether it be to start investing in real estate, to start your own company. I'm going to continue to make content, and I hope that you guys can get something from it, because at the end of the day, guys, I have a lot of my motivation and drive from just a select few people in my life. So if I can reach out to any of you guys and motivate, even if it's just one of you or two of you, and I hear back, hey, in 3 years after consistently uploading on YouTube, you're a successful real estate agent, or maybe you have 6 rental properties, to me, that's the whole point of this channel, that I can make an impact in your guys' lives. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.